Sivaya Nama Thirumrai-Thiruvisaippa. Welcome back to our discussion on the 9th Thirumurai. By Lord Shiva's grace, we have already completed 27 Thirupadigams, and today we are starting with the finale Padigam, which is the 28th Padigam, written by Sedhiraayar to the place Thillai. This is also written in the same format as the earlier Padigams, as in it is written in Andadi format, and at the same time it represents a girl's point of view who has fallen in love with Lord Shiva. This 28th Padigam is also written in Panjamam Pan. Let's look at the first verse. Chidambaram. Selulaam vayal tillayudirumai salanaalayal sarvadinalival vayal vedam undugandirendre maaladagum en vaanudale. Chidambaram. Today's verse talks about the natural beauty of this place called as Thillai. It has a lot of paddy fields, and the paddy fields is filled with water, so we are able to see some kind of fishes in the fields itself, which means the place is filled with water, filled with other living beings as in the fishes, and at the same time it gives us a lot of rice, so it is filled with natural resources. This place called as Thillai, this is where Lord Shiva is, and the girl who has fallen in love with Lord Shiva is so close to Lord Shiva all the way from her starting stage. That is why she is not ready to let go of her belief, or not ready to let go of the trust that she has on Lord Shiva. Even when someone is trying to convince her, she simply answers them as, you know who Lord Shiva is? He is the one who took the poison on behalf of the entire Devas. He drank the poison and he made sure the entire world is a safe place for everyone else to live. I'm not worse than the poison, so obviously he's not going to let me go. He will protect me. The confidence that this girl has on Lord Shiva is something that we have to build up on Lord Shiva as well. Whatever happens, he is not going to let us go. He is going to be there to protect us, to save us from this world. That is what first verse is all about, and the second verse from the 9th Thirumurai. The verse goes this way. Chidambaram. பாணுதல் கொடிமாலது வாய்மிக நாணம் மற்ற நள் நானரேனினி சேணுதல் போலி தில்லையுளிருமை காணில் எய்பிலள் காரிகையே. Thirumurai. The second verse is a beautiful concept that we should all be relating to. Let's imagine when we are in a business environment, usually they tell us about our eye contact, as in what is the distance that our eye contact can meet up when a male and male and a male and a female, these kind of combinations. They even tell us when you smile what level your lips can go. They even tell us some of the physical gestures, like how should you sit cross-legged, or even while you're having your arms and all these, how to use your fork, spoon, and how do you hold on to a glass. If it's a coffee cup, is this a normal cool drink glass or whatever. They usually teach us all these etiquettes, isn't it? Why? Because we are self-conscious. When we see how we dress up, how we behave in front of the other audience, these are some of the etiquettes that we have to follow, especially in a business front, in a gathering. But when a person gets onto the qualification of a Shiva devotee, do you think they'll be bothered about all these? They won't be bothered about their dressing sense. They won't be bothered about whether they are presentable in front of others or not. They won't be bothered about what words they speak or what kind of an actions they are doing, whether they are crying or laughing. Nothing. They are literally like when you talk about it, usually yes, we do say they have gone crazy, or they have lost, is similar to a lunatic person, right? They behave in that way. But that is what Shiva devotee is all about. They don't care about others. Now this particular verse comes in as the words that is being spoken by the girl's mum, where she is witnessing her daughter who has fallen in love with Lord Shiva. She is also behaving in a very lunatic manner. Now the mum says, "My daughter has fallen in love with you, so she has forgotten all the social etiquettes that she has to follow through. Now Lord Shiva, what I want you to do is make sure that she is okay. She is recovering from this state, and that can possibly happen only when you come down and show your beautiful face to her." Here the mum is none other than our guru. Our guru is talking to Lord Shiva in favoring us on behalf of us, to asking Shiva to show some mercy on us. That is what second verse is all about. And the third verse, the verse goes this way. Chidambaram. காரிகை கருளி கருமால் கரி ஈரூரி தேழு போர்வை நீர்மிகு சீரியல் தில்லையாய் சிவனே என்று வேரினல் குழலாள் இவள் விம்மோமே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Today's verse comes in as the words from a mum who has seen her daughter falling in love with Lord Shiva. She says, "My daughter is not even able to speak up a word. She is not able to articulate what she wants to say. She's in lost of words, or she is not able to speak up, and she is always stammering for words." Not only that, even she is not able to say Sivane. It's basically his name, right? But she's not even able to say that. Now one thing we have to understand is the mum is none other than a guru. The guru is talking to Lord Shiva on our behalf to say, "Lord Shiva, please bestow your grace on my daughter," which is basically the soul was taken diksha, and Lord Shiva has to bestow his grace on that particular soul. Lord Shiva is the one who was able to de-skin an elephant, and he is able to wear it as his dress. We all know it is very, very hard. It's practically not possible to de-skin an elephant. We could see dresses as well as handbags and shoes made out of crocodile skin, rat skin, rabbit skin, dog skin, snake skin, virtually everything except an elephant skin, because it is not possible to de-skin it. If at all they manage to do it also, it is of no use, because it's poison and no one can take on the heat. So it is not possible to de-skin an elephant, but Lord Shiva was able to do it. Anything that is impossible, that is only possible by Lord Shiva. That is why it is called as Mission Impossible by Lord Shiva. He is the only one who could do it, who could de-skin an elephant and wear it as a dress, which means the elephant is nothing but a representation of our entanglement, and de-skinning means only Lord Shiva can tear it off so that we can surrender 100% to him. This is what verse number 3 is all about. We can't do anything. The soul has no authority, literally none. It's only Lord Shiva who can guide, help, and elevate the soul to the next level. And the fourth verse, the verse goes this way. Chidambaram. விம்மி விம்மியே வேதுயிர்த்தாளேனா உம்மாயே நீனைந்தே தும்மொன்றாகீழள் செம்மலோர் பாயில் தில்லையுளிரெங்கள் அம்மல்லோதியாயர் மே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Today's verse talks about the qualification a soul has. Do you think we have any qualification? Absolutely none. Absolutely none. Even when we want to get up early in the morning, it's not because of us. It's Lord Shiva's grace. When we wake up hale and healthy, we need to first thank Lord Shiva. The moment we are able to keep our food down from our bed, we need to thank Lord Shiva. When we are able to walk all the way to the sink and brush our teeth, we need to thank Lord Shiva for giving us the teeth still strong and our hands are able to move to brush our teeth. When we are making coffee, we should be thankful that there is milk, there's coffee powder, there is sugar, whatever, right? Sometimes we use cream or whatever. We need to thank Lord Shiva for all these. Do you think it's all our capability? None, absolutely none. It is because of Lord Shiva, His grace, we are able to do all these. Verse number 4 talks about the girl who has fallen in love with Lord Shiva, who has understood this, that it is not her ability for doing anything, and it is Lord Shiva's grace that is making her do whatever she's doing right now. Because of that, she understood what she is capable of, so she has surrendered herself completely, and because of that she is crying continuously because Lord Shiva has not given her the freedom from this vicious cycle. Yet another qualification of a Shiva devotee. Verse number 4 talks about what qualification a devotee should have. First, to understand and realize that it is absolutely nothing that we can do. It's all done, planned, and it is being done as per Lord Shiva's guidance and his instructions. And the 5th verse. The verse goes this way, Chidambaram. அயர்வுற்றஞ்சலி கூப்பியந்தோ ஏனை உய உன் கொன்றையம் தாரருளாயெனும் செயலுற்றார் மதில் தில்லையுளிரிவன் மயலுற்றாளிந்தன் மாதிவளே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். We all know this entire padigam is written from a point of view of a mom complaining to Lord Shiva about her daughter who has fallen in love with Lord Shiva. She is asking for justice from Lord Shiva for not giving back the kind of response that her daughter wanted. In that point of view, we need to first understand the girl who has fallen in love is none other than a soul who has already gotten into the path of yoga. So someone who follows the yoga tradition has already started their journey towards Lord Shiva, and the experience that they are going through is beautifully given in this particular entire padigam, and of course the 5th verse also. It comes from a mom's words, right? So she says, my daughter is so tired, she's not even able to she's not even able to get up, or she's not even able to pray properly. Her body and her soul is so weak because she's fallen in love with you, and because of that kind of longingness that she's having for Lord Shiva, she's not even able to get up. All she wants, or she's asking for or longing for, is the garland from Lord Shiva. Because as per the as we were talking about the other day, Agathurai, one thing that usually the lady who falls in love will ask the guy is for the flower, the garland that he is wearing, because that is a symbol to say that he has accepted her love. So that is what here this girl is also expecting. Now, how does it matter to a soul who is already in the path of Saivism, right? The garland is nothing but kondre. Kondre is also taken as the 5-letter syllable mantra. So what this girl is looking for is a diksha. The diksha which is going to be the mantra diksha, which is going to be given by Lord Shiva himself to make sure that she goes on to the next level. She's already tired, she's already surrendered herself, and she has nothing else to do in this particular path. So she's looking forward for the right type of a guidance from Lord Shiva. That is what verse number 5 is all about. Even though superficially it talks about a girl who has fallen in love, that's not the approach that we have to take. We have to talk about a Saivite who has already started the journey of Saivism, and they have surrendered completely to Lord Shiva and looking forward for Lord Shiva to acknowledge it, right? And the 6th verse, the verse goes this way, Tiruchitrambalam. மாதோர் கூரன் வண்டார் கொன்றை மார்பன் என்று ஓதில் உய்வன் உன் பைங்கிழியேனும் சேதி தீர் சீரம் நான் முகனை தில்லை பாதி தீர் என் மாட கோடியை. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Today's verse, again, it resonates with the earlier 5 verses, as if a girl has fallen in love with Lord Shiva and her mum is talking to Lord Shiva and asking him to show his grace, mercy on her daughter. And in this verse, she says, as in the mum says, my daughter is so crazy about you. She has fallen in love with you that she wants everything and anyone to talk only about you. To the extent she is even training her pet parent to talk about Lord Shiva's names. She is training the parrot to ask the parrot to repeat Ardhanarishwara again and again, and she is longing to listen from the parrot. Now imagine, this is the state that we are all in, right? In this world, when we fall in love with someone, obviously we would love to talk about that person or hear someone talk about this person. Not only that, once we become a Shiva devotee, we love to talk about Tirupathikams, we love to hear Tirupathikams and also listen to Siddhantams, and we will always be thinking about Tirupathikams and Lord Shiva. This is the exact state that we are in right now, which is basically fallen in love with Lord Shiva. This is the state of a devotee. Now what Lord Shiva has to do is show his mercy. Similar to what he did with the Brahma. When Brahma had 5 heads and he had a bit of ego saying that he is equal to Lord Shiva, what Lord Shiva did was he just cut off one of the head, which is what he is holding as a vessel to get arms as of now. Now imagine Lord Shiva cut off the 5th head, which said that it is equal to Lord Shiva, right? Similar to that, Lord Shiva, once we surrender ourselves, Lord Shiva will cut out our ego also and make sure that we are surrendering to him completely. That is what verse number 6 is all about. And the 7th verse, the verse goes this way, Tiruchitrambalam. கொடியை கோமாள சாதியை கொம்பிளம் பிடியை என் செய்தேட்டீர் பகைத்தார் புறம் இடிய செஞ்சிலை கால்வளை தீரென்று முடியும் நீர் செய்த மூச்சரவே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Today's verse is also resonating with the earlier 6 verses, and it is as if a girl's mum, the girl who has fallen in love with Lord Shiva, her mum is talking to Lord Shiva and requesting him to show mercy on her daughter. In this she says, my daughter is so flimsy, she is so timid, and she has surrendered completely to you. Something like she's like a creeper. She doesn't even know to stand without your support. She is like an elephant who needs its partner. She is like the flower, Shanbagam flower, which is very, very delicate in nature. That kind of a daughter is what I have, and she has fallen in love with you, and now because of the pain that she is going through, she doesn't even have the capability or ability to even just live her next day. Lord Shiva, I know you are such a valorous person. You have done such a heroic deed. When it comes to the 3 flying fortress, you just smashed them. You burnt them to ashes in just one simple smile. It is fair for you to destroy your enemy, but why would you want to destroy my daughter who has fallen in love with you? She is not your enemy, but she has fallen in love with you. That is what verse number 7 comes as a question that is being asked to Lord Shiva. But one thing we have to understand is the 3 flying fortress is not somewhere out over there, but rather it is within us, the 3 entanglements that we have, Arnavam, Kanmam and Maya. Now this Arnavam, Kanmam and Maya that we are going through as of today needs to be addressed. And who is going to remove that from us? Can we do it on our own? We can't. The only person who can do that for us is Lord Shiva. What we have to do is completely surrender ourselves to Lord Shiva. That is what verse number 7 gives us as a bit of a lesson for us. And the 8th verse, the verse goes this way, Chidambaram. அரவணி அன்று பன்றி பின் ஏகிய மரவணியேனை வாதை செய்யலேனும் சீரை வண்டார் போழில் தில்லையொளிரேனும் புரை கூலாம் நூதல் பெய்வளையே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Today's verse talks about a very important Purana which is called as Kradamurti, where Lord Shiva came as a hunter in order to bestow his blessings on Arjuna. When Arjuna was performing his penance, Lord Shiva came in the form of Kradamurti and he showed or he blessed Arjuna with the relevant sword and all these. Not only that, whenever we talk about the goddess of justice, we all know there's usually a blindfold and then a scale in her hand and all these, right? But the real God of justice is Lord Shiva. He doesn't have any favoritism. We can't see the concept of favoritism or whatever in Lord Shiva. That is why he is called as Aravan. Aravan means the one who keeps on to the justice. Now we all know Lord Shiva took the form of a hunter for the sake of for a devotee, and at the same time he holds on to the justice. Now, can he punish my daughter? My daughter has fallen in love with Lord Shiva and she's always crying for him. She's always longing for him. And why is Lord Shiva not showing his attitude of justice towards my daughter? That is what the mom's question is all about. He comes down for the sake of devotees, and why hasn't he come down yet for the sake of my daughter? Now, we all know he does come down. He is always with us. No one other than Lord Shiva is going to be with us, and he's the only one who has the concept of justice. No one else can we see in this world who can uphold the concept of justice like what Lord Shiva is doing. So all we have to understand is it's because of our karma, because of our deeds that we are going through this trouble, and it's not because of Lord Shiva's injustice, right? Now what we have to do is surrender ourselves completely and wait for him to take us on, to support us. All we have to do is just surrender ourselves completely. That is what verse number 8 is giving us as a lesson. And the 9th verse, the verse goes this way, Thirumbaram. அன்றரு கனை பல்லிருத்தானையை கொன்று காலனை கோள் இழைத்தீரெனும் தென்றலார் போழில் தில்லையுளிரிவள் ஒன்றும் ஆகிலள் போருட்டே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Today's verse is a beautiful verse. The mom of a daughter who has fallen in love with Lord Shiva, right? So the mom is asking Lord Shiva, Shiva, you have taken the form of Veerabhadrar during the event or during the Purana which is called as Takshan Velvi, Takshan pyre, right? So when we all know when he was performing his penance, and that is the time he ignored Lord Shiva, and because of that Lord Shiva sent Veerabhadrar to destroy the entire ritual. Not only that, Lord Shiva was the one who tore this or de-skinned the elephant and was wearing that as his dress. He is the one who kicked the god of death because he committed a sin. These are all like, it's justifiable because we know they did something or the other in order to offend Lord Shiva. Either what they did was they did not respect Guru, or they did not respect Lord Shiva, or they did not respect devotees. So when someone performs these three sins, they will be punished. We all know that, and here Lord Shiva punished them. But my daughter, she has only fallen in love with you. She has not committed any of these sins, like, she has not intimidated her guru, she has not intimidated devotees, she has not intimidated Lord Shiva either. Then why are you punishing my daughter? Why are you making her go through this kind of a turbulence in her life? Why are you forcing her to go through this turmoil? That is what verse number 9 is all about. Verse number 9 is a beautiful verse to say, all we have to do is surrender ourselves to Lord Shiva so that he can kick Lord Yama from us. He can also de-skin the elephant that we have within us, which is our ego, and he is the one who can destroy the ego in us, which is belittling everyone around us. Once he does that, we will be pure, and that is where Lord Shiva can bless us and bring him to his to make us part of his devotee. That is what verse number 9 is all about. And the finale verse, 10th verse. This is also called as Falashruti or Thirukadaikappu. Let's look at the verse, 10th verse. Tiruchitrambalam. ஏயுமாரேழில் சேதிபர்கோன் தில்லை நாயனாரை நாயந்துரை செய்தன தூயவாரூரை பாத்துரகத்திடை ஆய இன்பம் எய்தி இருப்பரே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Today's verse, as we said, Falashruti, talks about usually three things, which is to say who sung this particular padigam and on whom this particular padigam was sung upon, and when a soul is reading this padigam, what is the benefit they are going to get out of it. That is the approach. Even the 10th verse here we are going to see. The author introduces himself as Sedhibar Kon, which literally means king of the place called as Sedinadu. That is why we call it as Sedhiraayar. And here this particular padigam is written for Thillai Nataraja, the cosmic dancer. There's a beautiful phrase here. He says, Thuyavaru Uraipana. As in, if someone is reading this padigam without any mistakes, word or spelling or even meaning, without any of those mistakes, when someone is able to read or chant this padigam, that is where they will be able to stay put in Shivloka, and they will not come down at all, as in they will not have a rebirth. This is what the Falashruti talks about for this particular padigam, which is the 28th padigam. All we have to do is, along with the earlier 9 verses, we have to combine this 10th verse and read this entire padigam at least once every day to stay put in the Shivloka. With this, by Lord Shiva's grace, we are concluding Thirumurai-Thiruvisaippa. 28 Thirupadigams have been concluded. We will start with Thirupallandu very soon. Until then, Sivaya Nama, Tiruchitrambalam.